Marriaga.
Lomachenko's been bigger lately. Last 3 fights, 129, 130 pounds. While the last 3 fights, Marriaga has been between 125, 126. Basically, a featherweight and a junior lightweight.
Well, Lomachenko's going up in weight because nobody wants to fight him at 126. Well, this guy will fight him at 130, but no one wants to fight him at 35 or 40 either.
Always interesting to get a fighter's first impressions when you're actually in there with Lomo. Bernardo Osuna was listening in to the corner of Miguel.
Yeah, and they said what any corner would say, but this is tougher against Lomachenko because of his skill set. They said, you've got to roll with his punches and then counter with the right. The right is going to be the key to beat this southpaw.
Marriaga was on the floor in his last fight. That might not be too far away from his memory.
That was a thriller, entertaining battle back in April 22nd for the featherweight title against Oscar Valdez. He was knocked down in the 10th round from a left hook that you referenced.
Sometimes you can have bats in the belfry. Sometimes you can have bad memories in your mind. Marriaga might still have that bad memory in his mind. And now he's got the boogeyman in front of him.
So Lomachenko utilizing the jab a little more here. The wide right hand. Right hand can often be so effective against southpaws if it's shot straight down.
Marriaga right now is fighting the wrong game plan against Lomachenko.
How so, Timmy?
If he wants a chance to win in this fight, he needs to step to Lomachenko, bang him to the body, make it rough and tough, make it an inside fight, and he's bagging up. Every time Lomachenko steps forward, he's bagging up, like he's trying to outbox him.
The problem is when Marriaga steps forward, quite often Lomachenko will go back just enough to make him fall short and make him feel that he's falling into a trap.
Useful right hand to the body.
If Marriaga comes forward 6 inches, Lomachenko has the ability to go back 8.
Lomachenko continues to touch him with that southpaw jab, that right hand. There he does it again.
Yeah, the old timers would say it so far very simply. Lomachenko's the boss.
More steady work rate here as we come to the final moments of round number 2. A round in which Lomachenko has landed 36% of his jabs thrown.
That's the reason why
10 punches landed in that round by Miguel Marriaga. He was outlanded 21-10 by Vasily Lomachenko.
And for you young fighters out there, that's the benefit of throwing 2 punches instead of 1. The left hook misses, the right hand can land.
I asked Lomachenko in the fighter meeting, I said, what happened in that Salido fight? And he told me I started late. And what I think what he means by that is he gives a couple of maybe 4 or 5 rounds. He feels the guys out, wears them down a bit, and then goes in for the kill. He did that against Salido, and he ended up losing the fight.
But he also became a pro in that fight.
And it's unheard of for anybody in their second pro fight to take on that kind of challenge. I mean, it's utterly ridiculous to think that you would face Salido in your second pro fight.
As good as he is, he wasn't quite mentally ready for a tough, rugged guy that was going to take him 12 rounds and was going to cheat a little bit. You know, within the realm of cheating, if there is a realm of cheating. Elbows, pushing, roughing him up, not letting the golden boy have it his way.
Yeah.
He wasn't quite ready for that. But if it was a couple rounds longer, he wins. He got ready on the job.
Well, he told me never again.
Well, he's touching right now. He's touching downstairs with the left hand, trying to set up something upstairs. That's what he does. That's what he does his little David Copperfield magician stuff. Sleight of hand. Makes you think something's over here when it's really over there.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. He better not mess up on the trick because that right hand is coming close.
Well, right hands is the punch you like to use against the lefty. Lomachenko is a lefty. Right hands can be the southpaw killer.
But if I was Marriaga, I would actually throw that right hand to the body as opposed to always constantly trying to.
First knockdown score of the night by High Tech. He says, come on, I'm going to sit right here in this neutral corner. You come to me. Look at this. Loma waving him in. Wide right hand from Marriaga dancing in his face.
He's the spider telling the Beetle, come on in.
Boy, oh boy, is he entertaining. He says, let's make a fight of it. Knockdown scored, antics.
I'll tell you this, he's brilliant, but I do not like it. You know, this is boxing. Anything can happen. Just takes one punch that you don't see. He can get careless at the wrong time and get clipped, and you can call it an accident or a lucky shot, and it's the end.
He doesn't play those antics when he's in that kind of danger zone. He's always out of that danger zone. His opponent's backing up, he'll drop the hands. He knows exactly when he can get away with those tactics.
Round 6, of course, championship. 12-rounder with the WBO junior lightweight title on the line for Vasily.
See, what you got to do with Vasily, it's kind of like, again, being in a place where you're watching a magic act. You don't necessarily follow what the magician wants you to follow. He takes you and he takes your eyes and he places them somewhere where there's a little bit of a trick of hand, sleight of hand, where you can't see where the trick's coming. What he'll do a lot of times, Lomachenko, he'll move to the side. Instead of turning with him, act like you're going to turn. Get him to come back in front of you and nail him when he comes back in front of you.
Marriaga finding himself off balance for a moment, and look at Lomachenko again. And now a little Ali shuffling back to business.
All these things are great. I mean, he looks great. He's possessing, he's wowing the crowd and everything. But I just turn it up. I want to see, he got all them skills in the world. Turn it up on this guy.
I think it's only a matter of time before he does, Timmy.
Well, Timmy, the one thing that he doesn't have hydrogen in his punches. That's the one place he hasn't been gifted. Not a huge puncher. He wants to break you down. He knows what his strength is, and I hate to use this word, but he might even know what his weaknesses are. Kind of like the Clint Eastwood movie. You know, man must know his limitations.
Coach, he's a bully. He loves beating on people.
That's what he's doing here at the end of 6, Timmy.
He's a bully.
He can back it up.
He's picking up the pace there. Strafing attack, landed that right hand that time.
Look, he's being forced to do it on the front end with an opponent who's just trying to survive right now. If he has to do it on the back end, back up and counter, he can do it.
6 dominating rounds in the books for the
difference with Crawford. Crawford is number 3 on my pound-for-pound list. Lomachenko number 1, Ward number 2. 2 and 3 very close. I mean, that's a great compliment just to be that high. But for me, Crawford, believe it or not, he has more physical ability than Lomachenko. He just goes about it a different way. But he has more power, more physical presence than Lomachenko. Lomachenko just has more dimensions.
Well, I like Crawford. He's actually number 2 on my pound-for-pound list. You know, Andre Ward, I have him number 1. Crawford, how many guys you see right now that can turn southpaw, knock you out in southpaw position, turn right-handed or orthodox, knock you out in that position as well? He's the only guy right now in boxing that's doing that. That's the reason why I have
There
number 2.
used to be a player years ago in football, Curtis, a defensive end, they called him the freak. That's what I call Crawford. Physically, he's a freak. That's why he can move up so many weight dimensions, because of his size and his abilities.
lead left uppercut from Lomachenko here. Now places a right hand to the body and comes upstairs with that right hand to follow. trying to split the guard. Goes around, doubles up the left hand. Comes back, 2 uppercuts on the inside now.
Can anybody say demoralizing?
That is it, isn't it, Teddy? If you're Marriaga, what could you possibly be thinking right now?
I want out.
Every which way you are outclassed. And keep in mind, Marriaga's a 2-time title challenger.
I think what you're thinking right now is what my great mentor Customato used to say, a different line of work.
Good body shot, backs him up. Good body shot again. The uppercut comes, wraps around the guard with a right hand. Lomachenko in prime form here in the 7th.
Jack Grease, experienced referee, getting a little closer, putting his eyes on Marriaga.
Chopping down with a right hand. Left uppercut just off the mark. Marriaga's taking damage. Lomachenko, right uppercut that time.
But let's give a little credit to Marriaga here. A lot of those punches are missing. A lot of being thrown, but a lot of missing. Two reasons why he's still there. One is because he is moving his head. He is surviving. And the other, he's got the heart of a fighter.
Vasily settles in for just a moment, creates some range. Let's see if he goes on the attack in these last 20 seconds.
See, it's not just about the technical moves, the physical abilities. It's about the calmness. You have to be very calm to see the things in that ring in an uncalm place that Lomachenko sees.
Bolows up that left hand before firing it off, and a knockdown scored with a sweeping punch from Vasily. Unlock it. And then finish it. With a second to go in the...
You know what I like about Lomachenko? I like the fact that he's directly in front of you. He's not moving around, dancing around, trying to find angles. He's directly in front of you. You think he's in punching range, he gets out of punching range. You think you can hit him, he makes you miss. He's constantly putting pressure on you, inching forward, putting his right foot on the outside of your left foot to get in position to land punches.
Like a great fighter in the 80s, Pernell Whitaker.
You know, it's interesting. We make so many comparisons often with Lomachenko with some of the all-time great defensive fighters. But yet, many of his punch stats also play to the other side of things, that he can be so skilled offensively. Now, you say a little later on that's when that comes about.
Well, I'll tell you one of his skills right now. He changes his opponent's mentality. Right now, Marriaga, who usually starts a little faster, is tentative. Why? Because he's afraid of missing.
Great point. Opponents land only 17% of their total punches against Lomachenko. That's number 2 in the world, behind the only other 2-time Olympic gold medalist who's a champ currently, Guillermo Rigondeaux.
In other words, he changes your mentality. He makes you think about not getting hurt, not getting caught, instead of catching the other guy.
Marriaga did something that he needs to do and go down to that body. He went down there with the right hand to the body.
That's one way to take some air out of those tires of Lomachenko. Go downstairs, put some water in the basement. Lomachenko, so accurate.
Lomachenko puts so much pressure on you. It's like having a car just burning gas in the middle of the driveway.
Comes in with a left hand to the body there. Perfect range right in front of you to be offensive, yet defensively superb. Flicking that right jab, doubling up that time against Marriaga.
Constantly inching forward, putting pressure on the fighter.
And he will inch backwards when you come forward. Like that.